Hello, everyone. Welcome to my live stream. We are going to do a watercolor portrait together today. And it's been a while since we've done one of these. I have my Zoom room open for anyone, particularly those of you who are in my observational drawing and watercolor portraiture course, so that you can join in Zoom and ask any questions that you may have. And I just came directly from another live event, which I just hosted for the Carabullock Art School. And I have some background processing going on, so I hope the stream quality is fine. Let me know who you are and where you're watching from in the live stream, the live chat. It's really nice to have you here. I decided today that we would work on a portrait of Noam Chomsky. And I found a photo which I thought was nice that we're going to work from, and I will just bring it up over here. And I just hosted another live session where we did 30-second, 1 minute, 2 minute, 4 minute, and 6 minute sketches. So I've warmed up my sketching, but I thought it could be nice to start with a brief sketch of this piece as well. And I will open my reference in Procreate, and you can work from the screen. This is not my photo, so I don't have it to share, but I hope working from the screen is going to be fine for you. And I will just open up this photo in Procreate, because then I can move it around how I like. If you're interested in learning observational drawing and watercolor portraiture from me, then I hope that I've put the link in the description below, and you can check that out. We do 15 portraits together, and I have some of these live sessions, and there will be more of these as well, because I would really love the opportunity to hang out and connect with anyone who's participating in the course, and you can ask your questions directly. And of course, if you are in the YouTube chat, you can also ask your questions directly. And if you know your way into my Zoom room, and you're not in the course specifically, you're still welcome to join, because it's nice to hang out and have people to chat with while drawing. So here's a young Noam Chomsky. Let me know in the chat if you're familiar with the work of Noam Chomsky. Quite a prolific person, and has written and done incredibly important work. I'm going to put a 10-minute timer on, and thought we'll just start with a 10-minute drawing. Should I do that? Well, since it's so late, maybe I'm going to do a 10-minute drawing, and maybe I'm hoping that there'll be something there which will be a great foundation for my watercolor. So I'm going to work straight onto the my Hahnemühle Nostalgie Burgund paper, which I'm using here, which is a watercolor paper, 250 gram on a gummed block, which is nice. And good evening, Maria. Hi, Linda. If anyone wants to join Zoom, let me know in the chat as well, because I might only be seeing the YouTube chat at the time. And if you're like, hey, I'm waiting to get into Zoom, I'm happy to let you in. So you can let me know in the chat, because I might not see that. Right. So I was talking about the timer. I will set this. I don't know why. Okay. Reset. Set this timer for 10 minutes. And that I do a lot of streams where we do 10-minute portraits. And that can be our starting time for this portrait. But I would put it over here where you can't see it, but I can, so that it's not in the way of my reference. But I'll tell you, I'll let you know. Maybe I'll just put it like that for now. All right, let's do it. Let's draw a young Noam Chomsky. He's currently 95 years old. So this is a young reference, a younger than the 95, which is 3 years older than my grandfather. All right. the time is ticking. Oh, nice straight edge at the top of the glasses here. That's nice. So I have my reference right alongside. If this is, let me know if this is lagging the stream, and then I may have to stop the background activities on my computer. I was just saying in the drawing session I just hosted for Let's Face It participants that I like starting with the glasses. And if you've seen any of my streams or lessons where I'm drawing someone with glasses, you may have heard this before. But having that clear, hard, non-organic shape as a contrast and point of reference for finding the other shapes in the drawing, I often find to be really helpful. Eddie, if you have any questions at any point, feel free to speak up and ask, because you are my guest of honor in Zoom at the moment. Yeah, and talking and drawing at the same time is a challenge. So yeah, so the glasses, particularly in finding the position of the eyes, but then also expanding, extending out from the eyes, the rest of the face, they just give a point of reference. So I'm not talking through the drawing process too much here. I have other live stream recordings where I've gone through that. Tips for drawing by eye. And now I'm just going to like diving right into the drawing. But yeah, having the reference alongside like a one-to-one reference to drawing transfer is helpful in this scenario. So I have I've drawn Noam Chomsky a couple of times and read or listened to some of his books and talks, and quite prolific and amazing and important work that he's done in linguistics and also in activism and telling truth to power. The first book of his I listened to was, is it called Understanding Power? And it was just like, it was mind-blowing, the stuff he talks about in that book. It's wild. Just about like an honest, perhaps a more honest historical lens than often the way historical things have been recorded and portrayed. And when I was listening to it, I was like, if this is all true, how can he actually be writing about this? Like, yeah, it's pretty wild. And then, yeah, friends of mine, and I told them, I think Kira told them, oh, Dylan's listening to Chomsky, and they knew him from his literary, what is it? Language, not literary. What is it? Linguistic. Yeah, linguistic work. That he has these in linguistics about his work, which I also tried listening to, which was harder for me to kind of get into than the kind of historical, political stuff, but about how language is learnt and acquired, and yeah, really interesting. And he has recently been yes, prematurely. That's exactly. I was wondering how to say this. He was prematurely pronounced dead, but he's 95, and he's have some health issues. But that was quite a thing. it was interesting because before, I think it was even before he was pronounced dead, there was a lot going around about how he's unwell. And I saw a panel of his students who are, I think, also like professors, saying how it's really, it's pretty disrespectful to just be focusing on his health when he has still been like really prolific in his academic work, and kind of making it about the state of his well-being rather than focusing on how, like, what a contribution he has made to so many fields of thought. So yeah, that was interesting. Like, that was kind of to hear that from some of his friends and students, and then like in the next week, I think it was like Chomsky's dead, and then a couple hours later, they're like, he's not. So yeah, whatever state he's in, yeah, I hope that he has the help, the care, the love that that he deserves, that all deserve, really. But yeah, it's really interesting because I feel like a lot of things that I've learned from his writings, which are kind of amazing, and I don't know, I don't even know how I first started listening to his work, but it can't have been that long ago, like less than 10 years ago. So he was already 85 and had a prolific output until then, and he's continued. He's just been working the whole time. I saw some live stream conversations with long hair and beard, and he's very wizardly wise thinker. And I chose this reference because it's got a bit of a smile. It's often very stern, and the subjects he talks about, it's often like, oh yeah, it's a really great thing. So a lot of what he's talking about is like, oh my God, how can this be true? This is terrible. And a big thing I got, because it was at a stage where, like, I was dealing or becoming aware of certain kind of political happenings, and it was like, a friend of mine called it the doomer phase, like when you just, like, things just feel so bleak. And I listened to his book, Understanding Power. And I think it was at the end of it that he talked about the importance of community and realizing how we are not alone and we share this collective experience. And if you're organizing any kind of activism, like, the community is really what keeps us going, and realizing that we don't live and exist and think and feel in isolation, but that there is a vast community, no matter how bleak things seem in the news, that there are just, there are so many, the majority of people, I would think, are, loving individuals in whatever capacity they can be, whatever they've been through, but particularly the people who are tuning into certain topics. And maybe for us it's portraiture and painting, and the sense of community is really like a light, a guiding light amongst the darkness. So yeah, I felt like that was, because a lot of other stuff that I'd kind of been devouring at that stage left me feeling just like, what, so bleak, I guess. And people are waiting to get into Zoom. Welcome. I'm letting you in. Yeah, and it was that message from Chomsky that, like, community is, hello, welcome to Zoom. Those in Zoom can mute YouTube if you like. Yeah, and I felt like that was just such a good, important message. Just that thing of like hope exists, and community is super important, and what like kind of keeps us going. So yeah, it's a very influential person. So I thought it'd be nice to draw him and paint him today. That's the 10 minutes. That's I just spent an hour warming up for this 10-minute drawing. Linda, how many sketches did we do in the? We just didn't. I did 13. Maybe you missed the first 2. So I've been warming up for this. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, I drew myself as well as everyone else. Yes. Oh, okay. So that adds up. Cool. Okay. So that's the drawing. I'm going to get into. It's quite late here. It's 10:30 in Germany, and I'm alone with 2 sleeping children downstairs. I hope they just keep sleeping. The door is open. So I'm not going to stretch this out too much, but I would love to address any watercolor questions you have. And if you feel like your drawing needs, oh, good. If you feel like you need to spend more, oh yeah, you've changed the backdrops since like the last session. That's great. Yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. And yeah, I thought it'd be interesting with this. I also had another piece I did recently where I was doing some really long, in-depth drawings, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to put a timer on for this, and just like the looseness in life. I feel I have a lot of practice under my belt, but there's something to the life of it. But yeah, if you would like to spend longer on it, feel free. But if you just want to like dive into with your loose drawing, just start getting some paint onto it and experimenting, go for it, and then maybe take that into whatever your next piece is, or start again and do an in-depth drawing or whatever you like. Feel free to participate in whatever way you feel is appropriate. Is YouTube laggy? Because on my computer it's looking, I have this, my Zoom meeting is converting a video file, and sometimes it just looks a bit laggy. I hope everything's fine. I have, what was that, Shannon? Okay, good. So I have my watercolor palette here, which is the same palette that I used in the course. We're working from a black and white photo, so I can use whatever colors we feel like. And I feel like I want to keep pretty loose with my my paint application. Sometimes I feel like that and it doesn't work out that way. But I feel like it's liberating to work from a black and white photo, because you're just seeing grayscale and you don't have to get distracted by what colors things actually are. And if you want, you can make them totally unrealistic colors, use whatever you like. So that's what I'm going to do. And maybe just before I get started, I'm going to like indicate, I see as I squint down at this photo, there is like the shadow side of the face, which I found some really great, quite stern and grumpy looking photos of Noam Chomsky, which had really great lighting, but I was like, oh, I'd rather draw him looking a bit happier. So I found this reference, and the shadows are not as intense and pronounced, but they are there. There's a really clear shadow side, and it's interesting that a lot of the detail of his face is actually like turned into the shadow. So like basically from there, there's like this shadow side of the face, and I'm gonna make it a color. And I feel like I've got this really bright, like skin, like blue turquoise color in the corner, and I might just use that, this one, for my shadow, just to get started, see what happens. There's one of the lessons in the course, where after getting quite, I felt it got into a pretty heavy process with Gloria. Like it didn't feel as yeah, that's the one you're on at the moment. Yeah, cool. Like after that one, I felt like, oh, I really want to like do something looser. And so the one, I feel like Gloria and Mitre are a really nice combination, because there's this, like I really felt at some stage I was really bound to the color that I was seeing, and I was trying to like get it right, and then moved from that, made the switch to like, okay, here's this reference with no color, just value, and I can do whatever I want. And it was, yeah, it felt like a really great kind of balance to the realism. Yeah, yeah, take your time. It's so good, it's so cool that you're doing it. You're still going along, plodding along. And yeah, it's so nice that you've got your paintings in the background there. That's cool. Did she perceive a question? That's cool. Was it? I don't really know. I know nothing about Super Bowl, but I think it was during Super Bowl there was like a Google commercial where in the commercial it said, "Hey Alexa," and then so everyone watching the Super Bowl who had Alexa devices, like it was activated, or maybe it was the other way around. That Alexa did it with Let's Google side. I really light, orange blue. So the shadow side of the face is this. It's still really light. How I've done it at the moment, and there's potential there to get darker with it. My stream screen looks black. How is it for other people? Zoom is good. It's good to have you here in Zoom. Zoom is amazing. All right, I'm back. 2 of you are still here. Lisbeth and someone else. Annie, maybe. I hope you're still here. Oh, now that just says there's one person, maybe people will come back. Maybe I'll just take a little break since we've been having a break anyway. I'm going to get on Instagram Live and tell people my live stream is still happening. Bravo. Now 3 people are on YouTube. Thank you. Hello, Instagram. I'm on YouTube right now, and my computer just was like, and all things started happening, and nothing was happening. And there was this big break in my live stream, but it's still going. And you could come now, and you could come and paint Noam Chomsky with me. And I have some friends hanging out in Zoom, and here we go. I'll just show you. Whoop. Here's my Noam Chomsky so far. It was a 10-minute drawing and then started putting some paint on it. So you could just come to my live stream and hang out and draw and paint along. Because I almost, my live stream almost stopped, but it kept going. But then lots of people went away. So you could come now. Everyone from the Instagram, you could come over to the YouTube. The link is maybe in my bio. Otherwise, you can just go to YouTube and search me. You'll find Bob Dylan songs, but look for my channel. Lil Drez, I have improved. Thank you. That's good, I guess. I'll have to check you out. Check out if you've been sharing work recently. I don't know. Why don't I see the work of the people I want to see? My Instagram feed is full of death and genocide, but I would love to see your work. So I'm going to come check you out, Lil Drez. Drezum. Come on over to my YouTube. There are 8 people now watching my live stream. I'm about to continue working on this portrait, and you could come make this portrait with me. That's all I had to say. Charlotte, hello everyone. Head on over to my YouTube. Come and paint Noam Chomsky with me. Hey Dana. Oh, maybe I've just as an extra kind of thing, I'm going to just keep Instagram on for a little bit. Lewis, look at all these people that I know and love. Everyone can come to my YouTube and come and draw Noam Chomsky with me. All right. So I just started adding some orange to the light side of the face, and I'm working in watercolor, and I've got like this turquoise and orange dashing young Noam Chomsky that I'm working on, and I would love you to come over and continue working with me. I don't think I'll keep Instagram on for very long. It was very distracting. I've got Zoom, my live stream, Instagram on. I'm a bit verstreut in many places at the same time. So if you would like to continue me rambling, oh, you're watching soccer, are you? Fußball. That's why you're not on my live stream. Well, if anyone who's not watching the EM can come and spend some time with me and Noam Chomsky. All right, I think I will actually turn Instagram off. Or maybe I could just leave it here. I don't know. I don't do Instagram Live very often. I'll just leave it for a bit. But I'm going to stop reading it because I can't concentrate, and I actually want to do this painting. So come on over to my YouTube if you're not watching soccer. So for those of you who are still here, thank you, Zan, for still being here. Oh, someone just left because I was just rambling too much talking to Instagram. Or 2 people just left. Okay, so this is my shadow side, and just started putting some orange in here, and I'm just going to keep painting now. All right. Thanks, Instagram. It's too distracting. It's too distracting. Goodbye. All right. Here we are. No, that's all right. I already ended it. It's just that was just too much. So here we are. Back to Noam. Okay, so I was saying something before everything started going in the wrong direction with the stream status about like with black and white photos, you don't have to, like, you're not bound to realistic colors, and we want to work on getting the value right, and that it will work out. So here we are. And I feel like now the shadow side, I'm going to add a bit more of this turquoise over here. See what happens. I don't want it like super dark, but I want it darker than the highlight side. So Eddie, you've been working on the ink class. Are you making a zine? Are you doing all of the portraits on one page? Nice. Okay. In what ways were you busy with the elections? Professionally, or it was just oh. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Yeah.